It's been a year since we first met here in Copenhagen. I must say that those of you who have been there at the first seminar, for me, it was a true eye-opener and a super inspiration. I remember at that time that I had a corporate presentation presented, lots of slides, PR guy, I mean a whole bunch of things that after this inspiration we decided not to use. We talked off the cuff and I think we came actually to some very, very interesting insights. If you remember, we also launched the food loss and waste standard, and I hope this is not forgotten. I mean, if we measure, we can manage, and therefore the food loss and waste standard that we have launched last year, still in effect, even more important than last year. I think, to me, that was the great achievement of last year. And this year, we have to come up with something that equals this and really gets us to the next level. I think the good thing is that last year, if you listen to all the discussions on food waste, it was a numbers game. It was very much a discussion to make clear how important this was. And in your introduction, you already alluded to the fact that we are beyond that point. I think the world, everybody in this room, but also everybody outside of this room knows how critically important this is. I was in several forums over the last year on food waste. I mean, just recently, Selina and myself actually wrote an article which highlighted many aspects of food waste. And I think it's the interesting thing is to actually collaborate. Business models, that's always, of course, I mean, puts the ball square in the manufacturer's court. So I want to actually change that. We're not talking about business models. We're talking about an aligned food value chain. And in order to bring that to life, I will basically start where I ended last year. Our current food value chain model, essentially where we all participate here around the table, is basically that we harvest what we think we need to produce because of what we think we're going to sell, because of what we think consumers are going to buy, because of what consumers think they need to store, because of what they think they are going to cook, because of what they think they're going to eat. And the issue around the table that we have is not in any of the individual business models, in any of the individual silos. The issue is in the think. Because if we consume what we cook what we store, we buy what we sell what we produce, and we produce what we harvest, basically there is no issue. So the business model, I'm here not to talk about manufacturing because I think that is boring for the audience. The business model is actually focusing on the aligned value chains, on breaking the silos, on taking out the think. I think our biggest challenge is that we have to increase the predictability of food. And in order to demonstrate that, I'm going to take you back to the first business model. The business model of prehistoric man, when everything was basically simple and easy. People would go out and hunt, people would forage, and people would cook. Distances were small, seasonality was inexistent. You couldn't buy strawberries in winter. Shelf life was very short. You would eat what you hunted. The effort around food, or the food proportion of effort, was huge, i.e. the spend on food, not in money terms but in effort terms, was significant. And basically if we go to that initial business model, I think we can actually identify a lot of the challenges that we currently have. Distances have increased, choices have increased, varieties have increased, seasonality is trying to be outdone, which has an impact on distances, etc., and I can go on. So my challenge, to put it very simple and also for us to be able to remember what I think the challenge is to increase the predictability. In order to increase the predictability, we have to take out the think between the individual silos, the think between the agricultural and the manufacturing and the retailing and the consumer. If we take out the think, we increase predictability. If we increase predictability, we significantly reduce food waste. And because I don't want to just kind of throw out challenges, I know that is the brief, I also want basically us to do something when we leave. we can actually make a very simple movement in order to increase predictability. If you go out, and we're going out more and more, as we all know, you go out and you have food. Just call the restaurant or tell the restaurant through your app what you intend to eat. If you do that, you increase predictability. You actually increase the business model of the restaurant, but more importantly, you significantly decrease waste. If you're a vegetarian and you don't tell a restaurant that you intend to eat vegetarian, the chicken is being slaughtered, the cow is being culled, and you're actually contributing to food waste. So my quest is twofold. We need to work together to increase predictability. That means we have to share data, we have to take out the think, we have to go across the silos. And a personal quest, if you go out to a restaurant tonight, or if you go out to a restaurant next week or next month, give them a call and tell them what you're going to eat, because that increases predictability and decreases food waste. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much.